Isn't it true? Most of us like the best of both worlds. If something can satisfy need A and need B, it's a win-win situation. It's the same case with motorcycles as well. A dual-purpose motorcycle, like a Scrambler here, for instance, can take you to the office, cruise on the highway, and if you want to get lost, like where we are, in the middle of nowhere, a Scrambler will do it. And there's a new Scrambler to do it, the Scrambler 1200XE from Triumph. These days, Triumph has been nailing the design, and modern classic designs from the house of Triumph, well, they are breathtaking to look at. If you look at the tank here, for example, or this little LED DRL equipped headlamp, to the way this exhaust is mounted high up in true Scrambler fashion, this motorcycle looks so good, and I have to say, the pictures just don't do justice to it. It's a proper marriage between the modern classic design of the Triumph and the high ground clearance of a Scrambler. It's a design that really grabs a lot of attention, and I have to say the fit and finish is beautiful. The quality of materials as well as fit and finish is excellent, and as expected from a Triumph. The Scrambler 1200XE looks and feels premium, which ups its feel-good factor. Now aesthetically, this twin exhaust mounted high up here looks really cool. But while riding in traffic, it's not really a good feeling to have this exhaust so close to your legs. If you aren't really wearing riding pants, all the best to you. Well, that's the beauty of riding to a hill station, right? Look at the fog around me. That's the beauty of riding a dual-purpose motorcycle. You take you to places that you normally wouldn't in a motorcycle that is just built for a specific purpose. Coming to the engine now, this 1200cc Bonneville engine is probably one of my favorites in the Triumph lineup. There's so much of torque and so much of character in this engine. For the Scrambler 1200, what Triumph has done is also offered the torque right from the beginning. So there's good low and mid-range torque, and that helps you especially when you're riding off-road. So you can just put it in first gear and chug along on those rocky trails, and it'll just go. You hardly give a little bit of throttle and it'll just chug along, and that's something really good about the motorcycle. The engine has been tuned to develop most of the torque in the low and mid portions of the rev range. With 110 Nm peaking at 3,950 RPM only, there's ample of shove from the moment you whack up on the throttle. Keeping things in check are 5 riding modes: road, rain, sport, off-road and rider. These modes alter the power delivery as well as the level of traction control and ABS intervention. Now, road mode was ideal while riding on the streets of Chandigarh, as well as on the Himalayan highway en route to Shimla. Sport is good if you really are in for some spirited riding, especially around corners. But the real essence of a Scrambler is in its off-road habitat, and that's where the off-road mode was up to the task. There's so much grunt from the word go, it makes riding up rocky surfaces quite effortless. Just stay on the throttle and the Scrambler chugs on. And when you're in the mood to have some fun, you can just whack on the throttle and let the tail slide and have a lot of fun. These 45mm shores at the front and the O-leans at the rear have 200mm of suspension travel, and that's quite adequate to ride both off-road as well as on the road. The setup is beautiful, but you know what's the best part? Despite the 21-inch wheels, the front-end feedback is so clear that you can really push it in the corner, and I just loved it on the tarmac as well. The 200mm travel at either end is adequate to absorb the worst of bumps while riding on the trails. No matter the speed while riding off-road, the suspension did a brilliant job of isolating most of the punishment that allows you to stay confident, which I believe is critical while riding on such terrain. What the Scrambler 1200XE offers is a fun and playful motorcycle that eggs you to venture deep into the trails and have a blast throwing it around the sand, mud, slush, and what have you. In fact, the fun begins while you're riding on tarmac too, on the way to the trails. And that's wherein lies its appeal. The cherry on top, however, is the 10.73 lakh ex-showroom price tag. For the amount of kit on offer, this is great value, and if you're looking for a bike that offers the best of on and off-road riding, the Scrambler 1200XE makes a strong case for itself.